Hello there, everybody. Yes, although I am planning on giving you time in class to get it done as it would typically be done, I am only going to be speaking to you guys for about 10 or 15 minutes here this morning, but I'm going to wait for more people to log on. But you do have until the end of the day, kind of. I mean, you have 1 hour and 10 minutes to complete the test. The test will close at 11:59. So if you haven't started it to give yourself enough time when it closes at 11:59, that's the score you get on it. So I suggest starting it during class today. Can we do it at 1 p.m.? You can, but you should have enough time to complete it during class time today. We're still waiting on more folks to join here, so I'll get started when more people join in the next minute or so. Where's everyone? How come there's only 2 people in here? That's all about. All right. Well, I'm just going to get started because it's 9 o'clock and we're on limited time today, and you need to get going on this as soon as you can. That is, if you don't want to have work to do this afternoon. So, I mean, how you use this time is up to you. You can use the time to study a little bit if you like, but the test does have to be done today. So the first thing that I need to mention about today's exam is that there is a time limit on it. Number one, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes long. That's the max amount of time that you have for all parts of the test. All parts of the test are given at the same time. You have 30 minutes to answer 30 multiple choice questions, and then you have 40 minutes to answer the the short answer questions. Hello, good morning to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just going over the test right now and what you need to know about it. A couple of things. First of all, these tests are deliberately made to be very, very challenging. Okay, it is not uncommon in AP Euro for the average score of the exam multiple choice section to come out to be somewhere between 50 and 60%. I'm not saying it can't be higher than that, but what I am saying is this. If everybody's getting perfect scores, or if everybody's getting 90% and higher or whatever, I am going to know, and we are going to have a problem. And so if the exam results come out unusually high, we will be figuring out a solution to that that will probably involve re-examining people. So a couple of things that I need to mention. I know that the temptation as a youngster is to get the max grades that you can in your class by hook or by crook. And by crook, I mean cheating. It is essential for this class that you do not cheat, because doing so will throw off the grading for everybody else in the class. That is to say that if the multiple choice section average comes out to, let's say, 58%, 58% is then curved to become a C. The way that this works is this gives me an accurate representation of who knows what they're talking about and who does not yet know what they're talking about. I've given this test many times. I've taught this class several times, and I'm well aware of how difficult the tests are, but it will be clear as crystal to me if people are cheating on it. So I have to tell you right now, the reminder that the penalty for cheating at the high school is the same as anywhere, which is if it is discovered that you have cheated on the exam, you will get a 0 on it. Do not cheat on the exam. This is the only comment that I will make about this, but it is absolutely essential that you are taking the test honestly and with integrity. And so, not using books, not looking up, answers on the internet or whatever it is. I was born in the age of the internet. I'm perfectly aware that answers are out there to be found with a few quick Google searches. Don't do it. That's all I'm going to say about it. All right. Next thing. The test is made up of 2 sections. The multiple choice section, which is a stimulus-based multiple choice. The thing to keep in mind about the stimulus-based multiple choice is that you will get a passage, you'll get a picture, a painting, a map, a whatever, okay, and or like a piece of text, like I think I said passage. But anyway, point being that the number one most important thing that you do is you look at the source. Before you even read the passage, your eyes should go directly to the source. What am I looking at here? And start using Hippo to start putting that source into context. The reason for this is because the AP exam, one of the things that they do on it to trick you a little bit is they will give you a lengthy passage that maybe you don't even have to read to answer some of the questions. Sometimes you will be able to answer questions just by looking at the source and then reading the question and the options carefully. As you move through this test, I encourage you to use good test-taking strategies that allow you to move through the test more quickly. It is not a reading comprehension test. The thing to remember about lengthy passages is this. Most of the time, the questions are not going to be asking you about actual stuff that's in the passage. They're asking you to take that passage and the significance of it and connect it to surrounding stuff. In other words, it's not coming from within the passage. It's trying to connect the stuff to outside the passage. By the way, that's not blood. That is paint. I just realized that was on my arm this morning. I was painting yesterday. Some models and stuff, and I got paint on my arm, but I'm fine. So, point being that when you look at that passage, your goal is to try and connect it to different things, okay? And it might ask you about what came before, what came after, who would agree, who would disagree, whatever it is, okay? A lot of times the actual questions may not even be pertaining to the actual content of the source per se. Other times it will be. And you will need to read it carefully. It just depends on the question, okay? But try and be smart about how you approach the test to maximize your time. So that's how the stimulus-based multiple choice questions go on this test. There's 30 of them. The other section of the test is called the short answer section for the first test. Sometimes it'll be a DBQ, other times it'll be an LEQ. We're not going to worry about those for right now. So I'm only going to be talking to you a little bit now about the short answer section of the test. And here's how you go about answering the short answer question. You will have 3 short answer questions, but really it's 1 ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC. So there's really 9 things that you have to respond to. For each of those 1A, 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C, and so on, okay? For each of those, the way that I best recommend going about replying to those, hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for saying good morning in the chat. Okay, so the best way to go about replying to short answer questions is to formulate your sentences in a 3-sentence, or your responses in a 3-sentence structure. And the 3 sentences can be remembered with this little acronym called T-E-A, okay, just like a cup of tea, all right? T is thesis, E is evidence, A is analysis. For your 3-sentence responses, now sometimes it might not ask you for a super in-depth answer, and you might be able to get away with only a couple of sentence response. But in the cases where it's asking you to explain or describe, it's trying to get you to formulate a little bit more complete answer. All right. So sometimes, other times it might just say, identify something, and that might be a little shorter. But if it's saying explain or describe or whatever, those are key words to be looking out for so that you can offer enough depth. And the best way to go about offering enough depth is to use this TEA format. So let's talk about it. Let's say you get a question. The first sentence that you respond with should be a thesis statement. What a thesis statement is it's a historically defensible argument that responds directly to the question. What do I mean by that? It is not a restatement of the question. I do not want you to re-ask the question with new wording. That is not at all what you do. You should never do that in the class. Don't do it in your reading guides or whatever. I want you to respond directly to the question with an argument, with a thesis statement. This thesis statement is usually slightly broader, okay, than what will come after the thesis statement, which will then substantiate that thesis statement with support and depth, with evidence, okay? So let's talk a little bit about what I mean by that. Your thesis statement should be a sentence that responds to the prompt, and I want to clarify that a lot of times when kids get questions wrong, it's because they did not read the question carefully enough. Please, please, please be careful about reading those questions and understand that if it's asking you for political motives, don't respond with economic ones. If it's asking you for religious causes, don't answer with, whatever, social ones or something like that. All right. You need to make sure that you're reading the question carefully, and then you answer the question that is being asked of you, rather than going off on a tangent and going in a different direction than the question asked. So your first sentence is a thesis statement. Your second sentence is a piece of evidence. That piece of evidence should be some sort of specific event, something that we talked about in class. My lights keep on going off on me. Okay, so some piece, sort of specific evidence from the class, something that we've looked at. Maybe it's a piece of art. Maybe it's something that we've read. Maybe it's a fact from the textbook. Maybe it's whatever. Doesn't matter what it is, but you're giving some sort of support that will help support that statement that you just made that responded directly to the prompt. Okay, with more specific information. You're kind of digging beneath the surface with that second sentence by offering a piece of specific evidence to substantiate the claim that you're making. And then finally, the last sentence is analysis, TEA. Analysis is, it's not paraphrasing, it's not restating. What it's doing is it's trying to get you to explain in your own words how the evidence, or why the evidence that you just supported, is in fact, a valid argument that you're making. It's a clarifying statement. It's a statement that, once again, takes and contextualizes what you're talking about and helps the reader know that you really have a good grasp of the information. So that is the 3-sentence approach that I encourage you to use when you do your short answer questions on the exam today. But because I know that we are on limited time, and because I know a number of you want to use your time wisely this morning and get this over with, I am going to be bringing a close to our lecture part here, where I just explained the test to you. The test, once again, does close at 11:59 p.m. You have 1 hour and 10 minutes. Do not start the test at 11 p.m. because that will only give you that will cut off some of your time. Okay, please get the test done as soon as possible. If you choose to not do the test now and rather use this time to study or something like that, that's fine. That's on you. But just understand that the test will close today, so don't forget to do it later. Okay? Others of you may want to take it right now and get it over with, and if so, that's fine. At this time, what I'd like to have you folks do is to respond to me in the chat for attendance purposes, even though I know a lot of you already said hello, but go ahead and tell me what was the best thing that happened to you this weekend. Seth asked, will the multiple choice answers come right after the test? I'm not really sure. It'll tell you what your score was. I don't know if it'll tell you what the right answers were, though. Went to the zoo, went shopping, Helped out at a food drive. Oh, that's nice of you. Got started watching Cobra Kai on Netflix. Great show. Love Cobra Kai. Going to Costco and buying Nutella. Nice. Went to Crystal Cove. Cool. Built a model airplane. Oh, that's fun. I painted some D&D figurines this weekend. That was the best thing I did. I got an album. I got to watch Disney Plus. I got to sleep in. That's always nice. I learned how to play an ocarina. Oh, that's cool. I won a basketball game against my dad. Cool. Got some good sleep. Nice. Excellent. Well, folks, very good. Thank you so much for that. And it's nice to hear that you guys had a nice weekend. It's nice to see you all back here again this week. Please do get that test done by the end of the day today. And we will be back on Wednesday to start Unit 2 and debrief from the test. So with that, go ahead and get started and have a great day. Make good decisions.